episode. Hello loves, once again I am Silent3 and this is my kitchen. I have a very special episode for you today. Now I know I promised you a Critical Role themed dish and that's still coming. But first, something else came up. I was challenged. Now, no, this isn't like the time that I was challenged to make buffalo chicken wing dip pie. Not quite like that, but you can find that video here. This was different. You see, I have recently found the Babish culinary universe. I became a fan quickly. And I binging with Babish in order to catch up. But finally I did. And wouldn't you know it, the first episode that I had the opportunity to wait for is the episode where Babish makes Meat-ghetti and Spag-balls from American Dad. What luck! What providence! This is my chance to shine. That's right, loves. We're making Meat-ghetti and Spag-balls. Alright, for our pasta, I am making an eggless recipe. I have a reason for that, bear with me. I will be using some all-purpose flour, some semolina flour, some olive oil, and some water. I don't know the measurements because I'm making a half batch of this recipe that I randomly found. Ooh, that's really soft. And I cannot be bothered to figure out the measurements. It's about half a cup semolina, half a cup and some change of all-purpose. Making a little well here in the center with about a teaspoon of oil. And I don't know, like 3/8 cup of water. Hopefully that will work out. So we are going to start by mixing this, and I'm just gonna dive right in and do it all by hand because hey, why not, right? This is kind of like the flour and water paste that I used to make when I was a kid, and my mom would always get mad at me because I was making a mess in her kitchen and wasting all of her ingredients. So I'm going to mix this until it becomes kind of a shaggy dough before I get too far. My timing is awful. Before I get too far, I am going to add some salt. Where is my salt? Here is my salt. Add some salt, and that's going to get mixed in with it. Don't mind that piece, that just went flying. It will be free. Alright, and once I have this in generally a shaggy dough, I am going to dump all of it onto my clean work surface here, and I'm going to give this a little bit of a knead. Now, under normal circumstances, I would knead this for a little while, but I have a theory. In the show, the character that presented this idea, her name is Haley, I did some research. The character that presented this idea said that meat wants to be strings. I think Babish had it right, and that she meant this is coming right out of the meat grinder. She also said, though, that spaghetti wants to be balls. And I'm pretty sure she means this wants to be a ball, not spaghetti once it's already cut. So, my theory is, rather than turning this pasta dough into strings, which it doesn't want to be, and then turning those strings back into a ball, I think she just means a ball. So, that's what I'm going to do. Because I haven't made an entirely massive batch here, I'm going to be a bit more limited in the size of meatballs that I can do. So I'm going to tear this into about thirds-ish. And I am going to smush two of them into ball shapes. It's a pretty big one. And this is the reason why I have used an eggless pasta. Because I don't know if this is going to cook all the way through. And if it doesn't, I don't want to risk mine or my husband's life eating raw eggs. We're just going to deal with the raw flour. I'm also going to make some smaller ones because I feel like that is going to give us a better texture, if that can be achieved. So I'm going to make about probably 6 small ones and 2 bigger ones. And this is what we're going to go with. So just like that, boom, we have Spag-balls. It may not look quite accurate to the image that we're trying to portray from American Dad, but based on her pitch for the idea, I feel like this is hitting the mark more. So this is what we're going to go with. Also, I don't have a pasta cutter, so this is a lot easier. Now that we have our Spag-balls, I am going to use cling wrap, the bane of my existence, and I am going to set these on top and wrap them up and let them chill individually in the fridge for about half an hour. In the meantime, let's get started on our meat-ghetti. For our meat-ghetti, we will be using about a pound of ground beef. Don't mind my shameless Wegmans plug here. I have chosen to go with 80-20. I'm hoping that some of the extra fat content in here will help it stay a bit more cohesive. Right. I will also be adding 1 egg. I don't even know how I cracked that egg. I could have done it two-handed. I could have done it one-handed. I could have done it with my foot. You'll never know. I have about a cup of unseasoned breadcrumbs. I use unseasoned because that way I can be more in control of my flavors. And for those flavors, I'll be using about a tablespoon of garlic seasoning, or garlic powder. Another, this is probably about 2 teaspoons or so, of onion powder. The recipe usually calls for actual chopped onions, but I feel like it will absolutely fall apart if I try to put onions in here and I break it up. So I'm going to use the powder this time around. I have about half a tablespoon of oregano and about a tablespoon of parsley. Let's dive in. I'm gonna mix it up. I don't have any gloves, so I'm doing this by hand. Right. This is quite thick. Okay, this is the part I've been dreading. I don't have a meat grinder. And in order to turn my meat into strings again after it's already been mixed, I'm gonna have to come up with some more creative solutions. I hate everything about this. Because my meat mixture is quite thick here, I have reinforced my bag with some tape. I don't think it's gonna pipe though. Oh my gosh. This is the thickest spaghetti I've ever seen, guys. Forget angel hair. This is some devil hair right here. And my bag is blown out anyway. Fun! Yeah, whatever. That's gonna look so much like poop when this is done. Alright. I need something better. Kinda looks like a poop now. Even my webcam is trying to give up on this. Perfect. So we have our little spaghetti pile over here. We have this log because I think it's funny. I'm gonna use the rest of this to make actual meatballs because it smells really good and it breaks my heart to do that to it. And it makes me giggle to do that to it. But I think they're actually gonna be some decent meatballs. So for now, I'm gonna throw this into the oven. I'm gonna have them in there about 400 degrees for about 10 minutes to begin with. While we've been doing that madness, we've had some water boiling over here on the stove, very thoroughly salted, and now rip-roaring boiling and ready for our pasta balls. So I'm just going to lower them in here one at a time. Those big ones are obviously going to take longer, but we're going to put all of them in at the same time, just for a comparison. So now those are in there, and we boil them for about as long as it takes to rethink all of your life decisions about 3 times. You don't think I'm crazy, do you, Meg? Maybe we're both nuts. They're done! I legitimately couldn't keep track of time during that. So, just go until they start to float. Oh god, no. I knew this was gonna look like poop, but this is so much worse than I was ever expecting. So I have just a regular tomato and basil sauce reheating here on the stove. If you would like to see my recipe for how I make this, you can find that right about here. But that's not what this video is about today. In an ideal world, I would have liked to finish my sauce or my pasta off in the sauce, but I'm not actually sure what that means in this context. I think that actually means the meat portion, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna disintegrate if I try to do that. So I'm just going to plate everything separately. And now we begin the plating. We'll start off with this definitely doesn't look like dog poop pasta here. It's holding its shape pretty well. I'm pretty sure that's because this is gonna be bone dry. Now let's get some of our beautiful meatballs. I mean, spag-balls. Delicious. And last but not least, what may be the only redeeming facet of this meal, we're gonna get some tomato sauce on there. Now, how appealing does that look, my friends? I think we've done it, loves. This is clearly as was intended. Now I forgot to show my kosher salt and my freshly ground black pepper, I think. So we're gonna throw some of that on now. Because why not? If I had any hope for this, then I might sprinkle it with some, probably mozzarella cheese. I'm not a fan of Parmesan, I'm sorry. But, as it stands, let's give this a try. Alright, loves. It's the moment of truth. It's time to give this a try. I've learned that there is no angle that I can look at this from where it does not look like dog poop. So, I think I overcooked it. Let's get a little bit of everything in here. Well, looks like my Spag-balls are cooked all the way through. That's pretty exciting. And we definitely know that the Meat-ghetti is, and then some. Oh my god, this bite I'm about to take is enormous. Let's bring this back down to a manageable size. Alright. Here we go. I hate that I don't hate this. Like, the flavors are okay. Execution needs some work. But, all in all, it tastes like spaghetti and meatballs. Like, that blows my mind. The fact that, this, it still tastes legitimately like pasta. Even though it's just a great big doughy ball. I'm curious about the little ones. It's still just a touch more than bite size. So I'm still gonna cut it in half. But let's give it a try. Even better. The texture is a lot better on those. They're softer, of course. I don't know, maybe leaving them in even longer is a better idea. In all seriousness, though, this could have been a lot worse. If only it didn't look like dog poop.